There were a variety of things he did to ensure that no one would ever know he was Clark Kent. His famous glasses weren't his only trick. Superman is one of the greatest heroes in the DC universe, whether it be on his own or with the Justice League. Superman throws himself headlong into this fray, battling the most dangerous villains in the multiverse. There are few heroes out there that are as powerful or as inspirational as Superman, and he works hard every day to protect everyone he can, even though he isn't perfect. Recently, Superman revealed his secret identity to the world, but for years he kept that a huge secret. One he did everything he could to protect. There were a variety of things he did to ensure that no one would ever know he was Clark Kent. Number 10 is hairstyle. One of the little things Superman did to hide who he was that he wore his hair differently. This might not seem like a big deal, but it's all part of a calculated personnel. Once that would not put people off the scent, Clark Kent's haircut is bland, a stereotypical haircut that doesn't draw attention to him. Superman's hairstyle is different, is more stylish and has the trademark S curl on the head, something that draws the eye. While they have the same hair color, it's almost flatter in hue when he's Clark Kent, more of a matte color, while Superman's hair seems shinier. But 9, he talks differently. Another change Superman makes is that he talks differently when he's Clark Kent, which is a mild-mannered man. His voice is soft, not as deep, and he has a timid appearance. He's been known to stutter, and even his word choice is different. Metropolis is a sophisticated city, and he talks like a guy from Kansas. As Superman, he puts some bass in his voice, has a more authoritative cadence or appearance, and uses a completely different vocabulary. His speech is clearly and confident. It's simple yet effective way to put people off the trail of who he really is. Number 8, his posture is different. Another subtle thing Superman does is to change his posture. As Clark Kent, he slouches his back a little bit, the shoulders drop it, and doesn't stand up straight unless asked to. It completely fits the mild-mannered persona and doesn't radiate the power and majesty of one of the most respected heroes on the planet. Superman stands straight and tall, his posture is upright as his moral bearing. His shoulders are perfectly square, ready to take the weight of the world in it as well. It changes everything about his physical appearance and sets him apart from Clark Kent. Number 7, the clothing he wears as Clark Kent helps to hide who he really is. Clark Kent may live on the world's greatest cities, but he certainly doesn't dress like it. This isn't because of a lack of fashion sense or anything. Even if he didn't have a fashion sense, he has Lois Lane to dress him if worse came to worse. It has more to do with hiding his physique and deflecting affection away from him. As such, he wears bland, baggy, altogether remarkably big suits to work. While he's still a big man, the clothes he wears make it seem like he's fat than a muscle-bound superhero, and the suits he wears are so bad that no one wants to look twice. And number 6, Clark Kent's personality is completely different. Secret identities are tricky things. Take Batman for example. Batman's secret identity may be Bruce Wayne, but Bruce Wayne is more of a mask than anything Batman wears. Batman with Superman, Clark Kent and Superman are pretty much the same person, except Superman is him to the 9th grade. However, Clark is no fool, so he hides the Superman part of himself under the guise of a mild-mannered Midwesterner. Any city dweller that meets him gets the feeling that he's just some con prone from a small town who doesn't draw much attention to himself. Number 5, he constantly zooms around the city. Superman is one of the fastest heroes without the word or the flash somewhere in his name. This serves him very well as a superhero because it allows him to zip around the city saving people from all kinds of situations, whether it's be crimes, accidents, natural disasters, science run, or just anything else. It's actually pretty rare for anyone to get a good close look at him. Superman moves quickly, saving people as quickly as possible and then moving on. While this maximizes the number of people he can save and situation he can deal with, it also helps to hide his identity. Few people get a good enough look at him. And number 4, there are numerous people who look just like Clark Kent. There are some who say they would most definitely be able to tell that Superman and Clark Kent are the same person, but they are ignoring something very crucial. Superman is a white guy with black hair. In any given city, there are thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of other white guys with dark hair who look just like him. For example, Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne can switch clothes and most people wouldn't even notice the difference. Even though both men are rather well known, while this look isn't something that he does per se, it's still something that he uses to his advantage. Number 3, the brightly colored costume draws the eye more than his face does. Superman's costume is iconic. It's constantly recognizable, its bright colors standing out. Whenever someone sees it, they know that every everything is going to be okay. However, it's also a rather cunning way for Superman to hide his identity, even without a mask. The colorful costume draws the eye more than his face ever could. Superman is a big man in a bright costume with a yellow and red S on his chest. All of those colors makes a person want to look at it, and that keeps them from paying too much attention to his face. Even with all of the power changes, Superman makes sure that his costume is eye-grabbing. Number 2. No one expects Superman to be something so unique as a news reporter. Clark Kent chose to be a journalist because it was another way that he could look out for people. It's a noble profession, especially when someone like Clark is behind the keyboard. However, most people would never imagine that Superman, a being they look at as godlike, would ever have a job so, what's the word for it? Small. Superman is larger than life, and to picture him as a keyboard jockey pounding the pavement for stories and writing scathing editorials about politicians and such just doesn't compute for most people. They could never picture him that way, and that has helped protect his secret identity for years. Number 1. He uses his powers to scramble his face in pictures. Most of Superman's method of keeping his identity a secret works better on an in-person basis, but one would think that a picture or video of him would be the end of the whole thing. The camera would cut through all of his play at acting and tricks and get to the truth of the matter. Now, Superman and Clark Kent are the same. However, that's where Superman's powers come into play. Whenever he's out in public, he's subtly moving the muscles of his face in the ways that only he can, obscuring his identity whenever a picture is taken of him. It's a simple and effective way of keeping his secret, well, a secret. So thank you for watching the video. I hope it was entertaining and you enjoyed it, because I just listed 10 ways in which Superman can hide his secret identity. Those of you are wondering why you can't be tricked by a guy who's just wearing glasses, here's the answer. So thank you for watching the video. Please do want to drop a like and subscribe to the channel to help keep me motivated and, well, to post better content. Still another one.